You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 46, Deja Vu all over again.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that gives you a strange sensation of deja vu. I am Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
And I'm Raven Perez.
And we're back again for a new episode right on the heels of our last one.
A new old episode.
A new old episode, because later on we're going to be talking about Savage Dragon 211, which, if anyone out there knows anything or recalls, was mostly the contents of the last May's free comic book day issue of Savage Dragon Legacy.
Wow, was it already that long ago? Last May, huh?
Yeah, it's almost been a year.
Well,
it's crazy.
It definitely was supposed to come out sooner than that, but plans change as they do in Savage Dragon.
This podcast is like deja vu for that reason, and just for the fact that I think this is the quickest turnaround we've had between podcast recordings. Not to say that they're going to come out as close together, but we just recorded the last episode a week ago.
Last week, yeah. Exactly, I believe.
Yeah, it was weekend to weekend.
But I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about this. I was talking to you guys off the air, and I noticed something that was pretty damn peculiar when comparing the Free Comic Book Day issue with this new issue, and not just the change in dialogue. There was something that I'm excited to kind of discuss with you guys, but we'll have to wait till we get there.
We're jazzed just in general, just because, like, I personally wasn't expecting this to be a killer podcast since we were, doing a mostly rehashed issue. But for some reason, this totally did it for me, so I'm stoked. There's all kinds of fun things to talk about.
I thought I was just going to phone it in, but turns out my plans need to change.
We're gonna bring it in at a 9. Now we got to bring it in at 11. It's okay. I'm ready.
Why don't we kick this off with some news?
Of the little we've got.
Yeah, it's not a lot that can happen in a week, but we did it, right?
Yeah, we did it.
Well, as crazy as it might seem, even though it's only been a week for us, we have a new cover for Savage Dragon 215, which you can see at dragonfan.net. Erik just posted it on his Facebook. But, yeah, we've got Malcolm going head-to-head with Dart in just a sea of babies. Just babies everywhere.
And all we've seen is the inks and pencils. We haven't seen it colored, so it would be kind of cool to see this thing in color.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's pretty great just to see Malcolm and Dart squaring off.
Well, when you say babies, too, it's little dragon babies. It's not like human babies.
Oh yeah, for those out there in listener land, these are actually the half brothers of Malcolm. His dad's Krylin bastards. So
well, we think you never know. I mean,
apparently they've all gained the ability to defy gravity, or they are laying on the ground and Malcolm and Dart are walking on them, or
just knocked over a big tray of them.
Knocked over a big tray of them.
I just like to think of it as like a bracket of boom through an infirmary.
Oh no, Malcolm just busted through a wall of them.
Just like bam, babies.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, like the Kool-Aid Man. Fantastic.
It is pretty cool.
Yes.
Malcolm's wearing his cop uniform. It's cool now that he's like a cop. It's like harkens back to the good old times of Savage Dragon, just to see Malcolm on all these new covers coming out in his police attire.
And I don't even think it needs said, but just imagine the God Sword swinging around, not hitting a bunch of babies. I'm just saying, I think this is going to be a crazy ass issue.
Maybe it's just dragon baby wallpaper in the background.
We're completely misled. This sure is some strange wallpaper. No, I love it. I love this cover. This cover instantly. The second I saw it, I can't wait to get it posted in color. I can't wait for the color version. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw this cover, it was an instant click. I was like, okay.
I mean, how can you see this cover and not want to like flip through the issue? You know what I mean? It's like one of those like Erik is just so good at drawing covers. You know, I mean, he might have an occasional miss, but I mean, almost issue after issue, it's a type of cover that you just want to kind of find out what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I saw this cover, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to read this issue. Like, is it going to be played for laughs? Like all these babies going everywhere? I mean, is it going to be like super gory and dramatic with like a bunch of baby debris
Now,
getting all?
I'm not an expert, but I think the sea of babies might be a metaphor.
I don't know.
For Malcolm's sexual debauchery?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, and by the way, for the listeners, if you want to see the cover, head over to dragonfan.net, which Raven has been doing a great job kind of keeping up to date lately.
Trying to do my best, guys. Trying to do my best.
So, our other piece of news.
Jim?
We got a cover for, we believe, Spawn 264, although there's no official confirmation on that. But based on its contents, you can tell it sort of follows 263. It's another picture of Spawn in a cityscape. Now he's hanging from a building with some mummy man threatening him to step on his poor little pinky fingers.
Someone wrote on the Facebook page when this was posted that it kind of was a callback to that issue of Shadowhawk. Do you remember that with like Dragon stepping on like Shadowhawk's hand or something? Way back in the day.
I could see that.
Well, I think Erik, he at least, I don't know if he drew or just inked. I think he just inked the cover over Jim Valentino for like Savage and Shadowhawk number 3, which is like, I don't know, 1992 or whatever. Mm-hmm. If you look it up, it kind of does give you that feeling, but it's really not intentional, I don't think, but still kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's definitely a different composition. It's definitely not a typical, like, Erik Larsen homage to himself sort of thing.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit different.
So, again, what we have with this preview cover is just pencils and inks by Larsen. We don't know yet if McFarlane's going to ink over this or add his little touches, and we haven't seen it in color, but it does look damn cool with the cityscape and everything.
I gotta say, this is a lot tighter than the other Spawn work Erik was doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even really see too much room for the McFarlane magic.
Right. It makes me wonder if McFarlane's going to ink this one.
Gotta say, I like that sky.
Oh, isn't that great?
He does like the zipatone with the stars.
Yeah, the million stars. And this villain, let's talk about this guy, because the thing is he's not a existing Spawn villain. He's actually a fresh for Spawn, like Erik made him up character, which is cool, because a lot of guys, when they'll go and do a run on something, they're not really there to bring new characters to the fold.
Right.
They're there sort of just to do a run. And yeah, here we go. You know, like Erik's doing the issues just out of the Satan Saga Wars, and he's already bringing in a new guy.
And I wonder if Erik has some kind of agreement with McFarlane, like, hey, whatever I create, you can keep, because you know McFarlane's had those issues where he's had guys come on his book, create things, and then claim ownership of them or something like that. So
yeah. Well, Erik has said that this is a work for hire gig, so presumably all new content is owned by Todd McFarlane. In
right.
The end.
Makes sense.
So this guy looks like kind of like a half-wrapped mummy with like this weird sarlacc pit on his chest.
Sarlacc pit on his chest, yeah. He also apparently subscribes to the same tailor as Virago did.
You know, the same tailor as Arachnid.
Yeah, there you go. He looks cool as hell, though. I don't know if it's just... I mean, I can't tell if the way it is, but he looks like he's a giant or something like that. I don't know. Like, I mean, he's not that tall. He looks tall, not giant, I guess, but...
I think it's just those weird protrusions on the roof.
Yeah.
You kind of look like they have a door on them, but I think they're just like, they're small.
Oh, like just like AC units or something?
Yeah, they're not like doors or anything.
HVAC units, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I think that's just AC.
Because his foot's the same size as Spawn's hand.
Yeah, that's true.
But I hope that Splund gets his damn head chewed on by that chest mouth. Just jam it in there.
And again,
do you know what this guy's name is?
no, I don't think there's any solicitation copy. It's just
Nothing.
Erik kind of was like, here's the newest cover.
Okay.
But that's available on dragonfan.net as well.
Put it up there for your sharing perusal. You can just one click and send it on to your social network sites.
So let's jump into our normal segment now, our FINteresting Conversations segment. So once again, we present FINteresting Conversations, where you, the listener, are asked to write in with whatever Erik Larsen or Savage Dragon related questions or topics you'd like us hosts to discuss. Send your questions to savagefincast@gmail.com, and on each episode we will select one listener's question and to discuss, and the lucky winner will receive our one-of-a-kind FINcast t-shirt designed by our pal Raven, which is new for 2016 and will never be for sale and never be available after this year. As we reminded you last episode, 2015's design was retired with only 7 winners, so don't miss out on this. It's rare and one of a kind and just kind of a cool thing.
We have a design pinned down. I'll be showcasing that soon on Dragon Fan. And Jim came up with the idea. I think so I just got to put the work in, and we'll be debuting that very soon.
Sweet. So for this episode, Andrew D'Entremont was who we selected for his question, which was, suppose that Erik couldn't draw anymore but was still able to write. Would you want him to keep writing Savage Dragon with a new artist? And if so, what artist would you pick?
Well, to answer the first half, I think we're pretty much in agreement. The answer is absolutely yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no reason why Savage Dragon can't continue with only Erik writing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's personally that's what I would want, but I don't think Erik would ever go for that. Just knowing Erik, like he wouldn't.
You don't think so? You don't think if his caveman hands suddenly crumbled under his own weight that he wouldn't want to continue his book he's been writing his entire life?
I'm not sure. Maybe, but I'm not sure if it would even be viable for him to do that, to pay somebody.
He's gonna meet Gavin, high five, and just a bit. That'll be what'll happen. Just
Gavin will steal his hands to gain his power.
He'll be like, up top, oh, it's broke forever.
But regardless, hypothetically, of course, I would want him to at least write if he could.
Same here. If he was down for it, I mean, it's his writing as much as him making it. So yeah. If he was down for it, then I would absolutely read it. For me, it's the package deal. That's what makes it special. So yes, it would lose some of its magic. I would be like tremendously sad and stuff. But I mean, if it was some kind of physical problem to where he couldn't, I wouldn't be a dick about things. If he still wanted to write it, I would absolutely read it as long as he was writing. Like if he wasn't writing, I'd be like, eh.
Yeah, right.
Right. Of course, I don't know if like 300 issues from now, our opinions might change. But right now, a Savage Dragon written and drawn by somebody different would be completely unacceptable.
Right.
It just wouldn't have the magic.
So what do you guys think for an artist that you would like to see if hypothetically you could get? I guess.
I know who I want. You guys go first.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because mine's pretty out there.
Oh, I don't.
I probably won't even know. Who is it?
Paul Pelletier.
I don't.
Whoa.
Who is that?
Who is that?
It's spelled Pelletier. He is an artist that I have had a pretty long history with through various books. Sometimes coincidentally, sometimes I seek him out. I originally got really high on him way back in the early 2000s on a little book called Negation from that company CrossGen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He has got this style of action and violence that I think would fit Dragon like a glove. Yeah, I've never seen him. I've never seen him draw Savage Dragon or even acknowledge that he knows anything about Savage Dragon. But his style, I think, would slide right in.
Can I ask you, is he currently, he does a bunch of like DC?
He currently is the main Aquaman artist.
Aquaman, so I am looking at his art. So he's got kind of an Ivan Rice.
Little bit.
A little bit of an Ivan Rice kind of a thing.
I don't know Ivan Rice very well. I just know this.
He's DC's main right now.
Yeah.
So.
But I liked him on Negation. I liked him on his run of Marvel's Exiles when he was doing it with Tony Bedard. He did it was Tony Bedard, yeah. And then he did a run of Hulk, a whole bunch of Hulk stuff, bunch of stuff at Marvel. I didn't follow him at that time just because he wasn't writing stuff. He wasn't drawing stuff I really cared about. But I just think his style would work really well for what Dragon represents. And I know, and it's just kind of a weird style. I know a lot of people would just go for the easy, like Mark Engelhard or Cory Walker or something like that. But I think this guy would be something else.
Cool.
So is there a particular work of his that made you say this is it?
Honestly, Negation. Negation, even way back then, that run is one of the most gorgeous books I've ever read.
Huh. All right. You know, all those cross-gen books were kind of lookers anyway.
Yeah, they were. I miss cross-gen a lot. Mostly because it ended without conclusion, but that's a story for another day.
Well, he's definitely got some good chops. It's very, like I said, very mainstream DC. If you're out there in listener land and you're not like
really, I don't even peg him for like mainstream DC. A lot of mainstream DC is like kind of sketchy, kind of painted style. He's still got that like cartooning core to what he does.
You think? Because I'm looking at it, and it looks just very like what you would think when you think
what's
superhero.
Mainstream DC like.
Well, like
house style, like
like the house style. Like Ivan Rice right now has like done a ton of their events comics and stuff. So like, you know, I'm talking about like drawing things kind of like in a Jim Lee light kind of a vein. You know, nobody's Jim Lee, but like Ivan Rice is like Jim Lee light.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like, you know, like a guy that's going for that Jim Lee style.
Gotcha.
Like,
I can see a little Jim Lee in him.
Yeah, and it's not an insult. It's a type of artist.
He's got really expressive faces. I've always just kind of like, they've always just been the part that really just leaps out at me. And he's got, I don't know, I just like his action, and I like how he does violence.
Cool.
Not a thing wrong with that. Craig?
So I went through them, and I think Jim was kind of like hitting the nail on the head with the kind of guys that people would kind of pick, like the Mark Englerts or Ryan Otley or Cory Walker, Frank Fosco, of course. But to me, one guy kind of sticks out, which has been related to a Savage Dragon project before, and kind of I didn't know too much about him until I picked up the issue, and I thought, you know, this guy could work. And I think he draws in that kind of classic comic style that really works for a Savage Dragon. But I picked Carl Kessel, who did the Savage Dragon Superman Metropolis one-shot.
Yes.
And and it's funny because I kind of find him to be like that mainstream DC house style from like more of the 80s, 90s, you know. But I think when you look at the way he draws, he kind of has captured that kind of, like I pictured Dragon like kind of drawn for an 80s or 90s type art, you know. Like that's what fits the best with these kind of big muscular heroes and stuff like that. And do an image search of a couple of his covers, and you could totally see.
What was his name?
Carl Kessel, Karlkesel. But that's who I would probably pick, and I think that would be a more realistic choice than saying, you know, Ryan Otley, because he's just going to stick with Invincible. Cory Walker wouldn't be able to stick to a monthly book, I don't think.
Sadly, I mean, it breaks my heart because I love the man's art, and that would be like exciting as shit.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But yeah, definitely, just for the way Carl Kessel draws kind of muscular dudes, and he's just kind of clean, and he's got a good style, a good kind of just, I I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like an 80s DC style or something like that. Just
I'm looking at it and I can see it.
yeah.
It's funny, just to bring it back, his wife, Barbara Kessel,
Mm-hmm.
she was a major writer on like a lot of cross-gen books.
Oh, really?
I read a lot of her work back then. All the books that she wrote at cross-gen.
Yeah, it's just really, I think, clean and traditional type superhero comic art.
Yeah.
Almost like a John Byrne type.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of. I pulled some stuff up on Google. He's definitely got that era style.
And I think Erik kind of learned a lot from John Byrne when he was kind of a youngster in a way. I mean, if you look at his early work, I mean, he was aping a lot of John Byrne type stuff, I feel like. And I still think I see it in a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I can see it. You definitely can see that like Byrne influence here and there. I mean, especially in the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some Byrne ladyisms.
So, who would you pick, Raven?
Well, I'm going to complete opposite, like would never happen. But I mean, we're just shooting in the sky here.
Right.
So I'm going with Yusuke Murata, which is the artist. This is the artist that's doing One Punch Man.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
It always comes back to One Punch Man.
I'm sorry. The thing is that here's why. Okay. So like Savage Dragon's my favorite American comic, right?
Right.
My favorite not American comic for a long time was I Shield 21, which was a football comic and not soccer. It's this Japanese manga based on American football,
Which is crazy because
and it's amazing.
Does a typical Japanese person know anything about American football?
The thing is that it was created to help foster enthusiasm for it. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like even in the comic, like they're like everybody's like no one cares about football, like no one gives a shit about it. They're like we're in Japan, no one cares about this. But like they end up like this whole big epic adventure. The thing is that it was a really huge deal over there. It was like they tried to release it over here and like nothing. Like they tried to have a tie-in with like I think ESPN or something too, and it totally bombed and it totally failed. But the thing is like if you read it, it's still an awesome read, largely because the art is excellent. Like one of my favorite artists, like I mean the guy's done other stuff, but this was how I was introduced to him, right?
It's funny because in Japan, like everyone just reads comics and they don't understand. Like people that watch football probably don't really read much comics, or you know what I mean? Like
I know. It seems like it should be like a no-brainer. Like, and that's the thing is like the whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, why is the world's greatest football comic? Why did it come from Japan? Like this is something
because America
so
can't do
odd.
sports comics.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, but you would
dude.
figure Japan make a baseball comic. You want to make a comic and have
They've got
an
billions
ESPN
of baseball comics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why write about something that like doesn't exist in Japan at all? Like, but baseball's big here,
But the funny thing is, this is the brilliant thing about iShield 21 is that because of the sheer excellence of execution, I'm talking about the art and the writing. It's one of those weird things where the writer is not the artist.
Yeah.
Like over there, usually it's like, the writer and artist are the same. But in iShield was written by one dude and drawn.
Is
by the
iShield
other.
like IEYE?
Yes.
Yeah, it's EYE and then Shield and then 21.
What the hell is that? They call that like a football helmet?
There's 21 members to a football team, I believe.
It's the best gimmick in the world. The QB wants to hide his identity because if anyone finds out who he is, they're going to steal him away from their team. So he puts an eye shield, a football helmet with a really like opaque eye shield over him so that no one can find out who his like new running back is. And it's like he's like creates an air of mystery around him. Dude, I'm telling you.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of.
Then you need to read more manga.
No, I'm telling you. You might not think that it is excellent, but it is one of the greatest comics ever made, even though it shouldn't be. But the thing is so here's this dude, and that was my favorite comic. And like, of course, no one gives a shit about this over here. And he's done other stuff. He can do a ton of different styles. Is this like artist is like the bomb. And then all of a sudden, this artist starts doing One Punch Man, which is very much like American superheroes.
Yeah, who in Japan gives a fuck about American superheroes? Which is actually not true, because actually Marvel movies do real big over there.
Dude, and you see One Punch Man is huge all over the world.
It is.
And it's because of that guy's art. And here's the thing, without even saying any more about One Punch Man or this artist, this guy can draw one hell of a fight scene.
Nice.
Yes,
all right, I got to read this now. Didn't you say it's like available online?
Yeah, I will hook you up, Craig.
Yeah.
Right.
I will.
We'll hook the listeners up, too, at some point.
I'm afraid I can't go that far. My powers are only so limited.
Oh, it's not just like a link or something? Like,
oh, no. No, it's you got to buy it. It's
I thought you guys were saying.
Money millionaire.
I thought you guys were saying that it was available. Like, you guys are saying
it's available. You can buy it on Amazon. Buy it on Comixology.
iShield 21 is completely finished. So if you want to buy iShield 21, it's completely done. You can buy the whole thing. And One Punch Man is being serialized here in America, and they're up to volume 4. So you can buy that. And if you go into the comic shop and you tell them, hey, I want to buy this, they'll order it for you. I mean, it's in previews, like diamond previews. So like, I cannot recommend One Punch Man enough. It's an easy sell for like, American superhero fans. And if you like comedy, you're going to like it. iShield 21, it's a comic that you will be amazed that you love so much. I promise you, it's fantastic. But I chose that dude. Like, I know it's the long bomb, but when I think of Larsen, I think of killer crazy fights.
Yeah.
He's certainly good for that.
This guy would do an amazing job on these.
He's another guy who understands action and violence.
That's it, dude.
And he does does he do a lot of like shorthand and stuff, or like just to keep the story kind of moving, or?
Actually, that is the one thing that he's not really. I wouldn't really see him as a dragon artist, if only because he's much more of a cinematic type of artist. He'll do one panel as a double page spread, but the amount of and he'll do like a sequence of double. One of the arcs he did basically a double page spread for every panel. Very Erik
like
Larsen,
a double page splash.
Yeah, for several chapters. And he would do it like how do I describe it? Like a storyboard. So you kind of get this animated sort of looking thing.
Yeah, because it looks like on some of the images I see, like some of his facial expressions are just really kind of shorthand. Or is that just?
Yeah, that's what's amazing.
Oh, you're looking at Saitama. Yeah, that's more of a. He does that sometimes as kind of like a gag. He does like the shorthand face as like a really simple face.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because the art on iShield 21 is actually better than the art on One Punch Man. Like
more detailed.
Yeah, this artist can actually do way more than what he's crazy versatile because he can do photographic style.
Mm-hmm.
He can do super cartoony. He can do like American cross-hatching heavy, like tons of cross-hatching everywhere. He can do really super clean cartooning. Like he is an awesome artist. So
yeah, iShield 21's a little harder to get your hands on because it came out like back in 2005, and
they started doing reprints last year.
Did they? Excellent.
Yep.
Probably off the back of One Punch Man.
Yeah, exactly. When One Punch Man launched, they relaunched iShield 21 with, hilariously, even though it's like probably a decade older, they were like from the artist of One Punch Man. It's like, there's no real crossover, but whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, he is a great artist, and I would love to see him take on Savage Dragon. It is extremely unlikely.
It's incredibly unlikely. If I had to choose a realistic person, I know we don't get two, but I'd say Marvel Comics Nick Bradshaw.
Nick Bradshaw?
Okay.
He's like a young Ed McGuinness.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a young Art Adams.
Yeah, actually Ed McGuinness would look cool to see him do, like, just even see a pinup of Dragon.
Whatever happened to Ed McGuinness? I feel like he fell off the face of the earth.
He's working at Marvel.
Is he?
Yeah. His art doesn't look very Ed McGuinness lately.
Oh, really?
No?
It's kind of going through, you know how he used to do those really swolled up, like,
yeah,
which is exactly what I would love to see if he did a Savage Dragon pinup.
Yeah, it's like Red Hulk, like his Hulk was kind of cool looking.
Yeah. I was going to choose him, but I thought you guys would be like, that's too obvious.
Looks like Bradshaw inks Who was it? Adam Kubert sometimes.
Bradshaw is like an Art Adams. Like, it's crazy that like Art Adams went all these years without a clone, but like Bradshaw is like Art Adams' clone.
Yeah, he does kind of have like the hatching thing that Art Adams has going on.
So if we're talking about like Bradshaw is way more realistic than like Yusuke, so I'm just saying, if we're talking realistic, then Nick Bradshaw.
Cool. So should we get into the meat of this episode?
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Oh,
just go back and listen to episode whatchamacallit, Free Comic Book Day Legacy issue.
We should say, I want to say is that we're going to try and treat this like you skipped the Free Comic Book Day issue, but also we're going to do a little compare and contrast action.
Yeah, we'll make a ton of references to it, but we'll go through it like because it kind of reads like a new comic. There's a lot of new dialogue.
It's crazy how fresh this reads. I was like not expecting this to read fresh at all.
Right. Yeah.
And when I went through it, I was like, whoa. And it's funny because we did an analysis, like a blow by blow of like, and it's funny because it is rewritten, plus there's like 5 new pages, but it reads way more fresh than what it actually is.
So there's been like 6 or 7 issues that have come out between when the original Free Comic Book Day, and just I guess to kind of go back, if the readers or the listeners haven't caught on or aren't aware, or we got new listeners or whatever, this issue 211 is basically the Free Comic Book Day issue that was released in May that Erik put together. That was a brand new original comic at the time. He released it as a Free Comic Book Day issue. He re-released it as 211, but kind of updated it to address the events that have occurred between Free Comic Book Day and now. Does that kind of sum it up? So we added like 5 or 6 more pages and put changed the dialogue on a bunch of different panels.
I think for like the specifics, he did 5 more pages, so this issue actually runs longer than normal to like 25 or 26 pages.
Right.
And then he included the Free Comic Book Day cover and the unused Free Comic Book Day cover as pinups. And also the Dragon and Malcolm scene was extensively rewritten.
Right.
So that's as far as I could make it work. That was my analysis and breakdown.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. So we'll go back and forth and talk about both. If you didn't read the Free Comic Book Day, you're not missing. You by buying issue 211, you're getting a lot of the same stuff. I don't think you're missing that much. That you'd have to go back and try to hunt it down. But there's a lot of cool differences.
Well, that said, there's stuff that leads in from last issue and heads into next issue, so you really can't skip this one and pretend you already have it.
No, I think it's vice versa. Like you can have 211 and be fine with it, but you don't necessarily need the Free Comic Book Day.
Right,
but if you have the Free Comic Book Day one, you probably should still buy 211.
This one. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of essential, honestly.
I totally agree.
So first thing I want to say, this cover is a lot better than the Legacy cover, in my opinion.
I liked both, but I do enjoy this cover. I like the background. I like
this cover is a callback to Savage Dragon miniseries #1.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With the yellow and orange sky speed lines and
flying debris.
That and Dragon leaping into action with rocks around him.
That is a funny thing to point out, since we're so fresh on our last FINcast. We were poo-pooing speed lines in the sky.
Yeah. And
yet you are right. From the cover of issue 1, speed lines in the sky have been a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it works on this cover. I just that on 210 that spread, it just looked a little weird.
Well, that's because they were going horizontally between buildings, where here they're going vertically down the street.
Yeah. I love this cover, dude.
Yeah.
It's a good cover.
It is.
Just a good shot of Malcolm as he is. Money shot.
Boom! Coming at ya.
And does this issue start the new logo?
Yes. This has the new not Letterman.
Varsity.
Yeah, varsity letters.
It's exactly a combination of, the original and the Letterman, if you look at it that way.
Yeah, it's got the same font as the original, but with the style of the letter.
Like a blocky Letterman, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm down with it too.
Yeah, I dig it.
This is good, guys. This is good. I'm thinking. I think the thing is this is what I want to say. I know we talk about like every issue should be a good jump on issue. I think this is a good jump on issue.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if you want to like if you want to boil like this comic down to what it's like, everyone understands it like thing. Superpowered cop. Here you go. Get with it, folks.
Right. I think this is actually even more of an exciting kind of jump on issue than the original Free Comic Book Day was. The original Free Comic Book Day seemed a little heavy-handed in all the explanations, and I think as you read the 211, you see that he kind of trimmed it down a little bit, but it still kind of hits all the points.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, opening it up, of course, the first main difference is that we get 2 new pages right off the bat.
Which that opening spread is awesome. I love the image of him just standing over the grave with like Maxine next to him. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good.
I love it.
Good.
I like her hat.
I was making like a snarky kind of joke in my notes, and I totally get like this is shorthand for a cemetery, but it's pretty funny how like random and old and messed up the gravestones are. It's like,
yeah, you think a Chicago cemetery in 2015 would be a lot more organized than that.
Tierra's
There's not a lot of space left.
Tierra's gravestone's already cracked and stuff. It's like, damn, they did a crappy job on that, but totally shorthand for a graveyard. We get it.
They just did what they could on such short notice. Like if you look on the other side, there's another name.
Crossed out.
Yeah.
X'd out.
It's barely covered. Oh, okay.
Sponsored by. So of course this is picking up plot threads from the end of last issue, of course, where Tierra, of course, had given violent birth to Malcolm's offspring.
Yeah.
Should be the name of a metal band, Violent Birth.
That'd be awesome. I hope no one thinks I'm sick, but I think Maxine looks cute in her little hat.
Well, here is this like a new thing too, where like she's kind of getting away from that Sailor Moon kind of look.
Well,
has she been? Yeah, I understand that too, but has she not worn that outfit in a while? Because for the longest time, she just wore like the kind of schoolgirl outfit or whatever it is.
I don't think she's worn that in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Probably since she got out of high school.
There was the honeymoon, then the wedding. Oh, you know what it is?
No, she was still wearing it out of high school.
I think it's just that there's been, if you look at the flow of things chronologically, wedding, honeymoon, now this like this.
Yeah.
I guess it's just that it's just not been a good chance to wear the sailor outfit.
Yeah.
We'll see if she gets back into it after the birth.
Yeah, if she's fitting back in the old Sailor Scout outfit after the birth, then you'll know. I like the I like this like jacket. Like, is that his school jacket? Like, I don't know. It seems new.
Yeah,
It certainly fits him well.
It's like his varsity jacket or something.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just like it looks like a varsity jacket, but I don't know. Was that his school's colors or what? I don't know. It's good.
It's kind of one of those weird things because one of the things Dragon always complained about was he couldn't just buy clothes that fit him anymore because of he'd always have to buy like jerseys because they're the only things that would fit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Malcolm's, maybe he's like the big fisted. Like instead of big and tall, it's like big fisted.
Yeah, they cater to their
ham-fisted
population.
When was Tierra born? 1993.
It says 4, I think.
94. That's kind of scary.
Old.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Old as
That was actually a gut punch to me when you realize how young she actually was and what year she was born.
Oh, we watched a baby pop out of a baby, guys.
No.
Oh my God. No, this conversation is great because it's like Malcolm, what's funny? I will say is like Malcolm is just so much more responsible than his dad.
Yeah.
like feeling all guilty and shit. Like, I don't think his dad would have felt as guilty as this.
Yeah, Maxine's sort of channeling Dragon here, being the pragmatic one, where it's not your fault because you told her so.
Right.
He did, though. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's in the clear.
I think, Eric's done an awesome job giving Malcolm his own kind of distinct personality.
Yeah, he's both. He's sympathetic and he always kind of seems to me as he's out of his depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's never seems like, even in the whole like foursome thing, he was sort of like drug into it.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like a good idea, but
well, he's still like a young dude. He's not sure of himself, and like he's just questioning everything. I think Eric's done a really good job kind of characterizing him as kind of a young man,
Maybe he understands like how his dad's actions blew up his planet, so maybe you should pay a little bit more attention to the shit you do.
Yeah.
I just want to say, while we're talking about like the shit you do having consequences, it's like really awesome being where we are now and remembering how everyone just thought that the whole like foursome thing was going to have no consequences. It's just been like the worst shit that ever happened to Malcolm. It's like
regrets, many I have.
I mean, we'll touch on it more in this issue, but it's just been like one terrible thing after another. I don't know. It's
Definitely.
good. It's good. Tierra. Rest in peace, Tierra. You were a bitch.
Man, all the high school friends have died. Think about that. Spoons is dead. Brenda Funk is... Well, she may still be kicking.
He wasn't a friend. Spoon was not a friend.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
He deserved what happened.
I bet he would have grown to become an important character in Malcolm's life if he had lived long enough.
And we still got PJ.
Flash Thompson style.
We got PJ, and we got the guy that likes to, quote, catch the runoff.
Don't see much of him anymore.
That rich and interesting character. We got those guys.
So then we cut back into Free Comic Book Day content with Malcolm Dragon on the Force, dealing with, what's his name?
His name?
Wrath, or what is it?
Is Wrath.
Yeah. Wrath.
I want to say Wrath.
Yep.
I still love Wrath. I mean, I know we like gushed over his cool appearance last time.
Yeah.
But remember, we got to treat this like a new review, so I think Wrath is fucking awesome.
You better say the same thing as you said before. I'm gonna go check.
Got to have that that political consistency. Don't want to be a flip flopper.
His tiger striped bicyclist shorts.
The thing is like out of like if you want to go like just a generic ugly, or you want to give me a guy like Wrath, give me a guy like Wrath any day of the week.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same. The funny thing on this page is Erik just changed the dialogue slightly. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but it's probably
I didn't pick up on it.
Just Erik kind of streamlining things. The original one had Malcolm's second speech bubble saying, "This isn't going to go end the way you like it," and then he changed it to, "This won't end the way you like it, do." So it's just kind of Erik kind of like going back and just nitpicking at his own dialogue. It's kind of funny.
Pulling a Lucas. There's going to be a CG squirrel in the next scene.
But he did not change the read. I've read the reviews on Yelp dialogue, which has always felt painful to me to read.
I love that, dude.
Why
That's
is that
hilarious.
painful?
I don't know. It just seems like Malcolm's trying to be hip.
Yeah.
And by extension, Eric's trying to be hip.
By mentioning Yelp?
Yeah.
You don't think that guy saying, "See you in hell," and he goes, "I've read the Yelp reviews, not good." You don't think that's good banter?
I just think 10 years from now, people won't know what Yelp is.
That's okay though, because you got to date the book.
This is real
like when they're talking about Avengers 2.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that either, for a lot of reasons, but that's more me than the book.
Yeah.
You got to date the book. Like it's
How
funny.
could the Avengers be in a movie when you've implied the Avengers are a superhero team in New York?
That's one of those things we don't worry about.
You don't worry about that.
Why can't there be a movie about the team?
Yeah, there's movies about real people all the time.
Yeah.
The Avengers biopic.
There's Army movies and Navy movies. They can exist.
Remember Johnny Depp in Blow? That was a real guy.
Why'd you pick that one specific movie?
I don't know. Isn't that strange? It just came right to me, though. Just imagine, like,
just
the
thinking
Avengers
of a lot of Blow right now.
Yeah. Guess I'm kind of a smack addict. I really didn't want it to come up on the FINcast, but here you go. No. Craig's like, why did you think about that movie? No, dude, I'm okay with it. I think that, like, when you have stuff in there, like, you know, unlike if Invincible started talking about current events, it would ruin the timeless nature of Invincible. But,
wait, I didn't hear you. What? Excuse me. Sorry.
Your habits are blowing out my levels.
They're blowing out my levels, too.
You know what? I didn't realize you were doing coke. I thought,
is it a
damn,
big deal?
Craig. I thought Craig is rude as shit. Just to blow his nose right into. I was like, that is so rude. Don't mock my coke habit, man.
I'm not, dude.
What year is this?
I did a bump off Free Comic Book Day issue.
Do you have a little pinky coke now?
Yeah. Not a little one, a long one.
Yeah, I guess that's...
Oh, yeah. Virgin snow. Snow angels. Oh, FINcast, come back to me. No, I dig it. I dig the current events. I don't think Yelp ruins it. I'm okay. I'm okay with yelping. What would you prefer it be? What would you prefer to be, Jim?
Can we not go there? I've been there before. You know, some callbacks, or my dad's been there. My dad said it wasn't so hot. Wah ha
ha. What?
No, remember Dragon went to hell.
Oh yeah.
That was a hallucination, though. They've agreed that was a hallucination.
No, but he went there too.
But I'm sure he did.
Oh, he did go, Nancy. Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
All crossovers happen in Savage Dragon.
Except for that one. I don't know why. I loved it.
Is that true? Erik doesn't consider that canon, or are you just...
Oh, I'm pretty sure. He probably does, but he'll probably never reference it in his own book.
It was probably one of the better ones.
As long as it doesn't contradict anything, I guess it's always considered canon.
Yeah, that's the golden rule. Just don't contradict anything. I don't think it did.
What was that? The book was Nancy in Hell?
Nancy in Hell.
A dragon in Hell.
A dragon in Hell.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lame title.
The book was good.
What does that mean, a dragon in hell? I mean, come on.
You're saucy. You're spicy today.
Am I?
Yeah. First you're mocking my blow addiction. Now you're flip-flopping on Nancy in Hell. I mean, Dragon in Hell.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. I've had enough.
We spent a lot of time on this panel.
I know that Yelp review. It really derailed you.
For the most part, though, his battle with this Wrath character is unchanged with the original.
And it's still sweet and awesome.
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good extended fight scene. I think my concern last time was that it didn't feel like it led to anything because he was kind of a throwaway villain. I don't think that's changed much from here, but otherwise it is a good fight scene.
I think that you'll see this guy again. I don't think he's dead or anything. I mean, he just looks, the shit beat out of him. I feel like we talked about it last time, but it is worth pointing out. I don't think it was super established before this issue or the Free Comic Book Day issue that Malcolm takes a hit from his lightning powers. And if nothing else, this fight sequence sort of establishes that, Malcolm is more careful with his lightning powers, which if you remember for a while, he was on a killing spree.
He sure was.
Just fucking killing the shit out of everyone with his lightning powers. And B, I don't know if I'm right, but I feel like this whole, lightning powers, take it out of me, Captain Stewart. I don't think that was a thing until this issue. So
wasn't it? Well, I mean, you mean it was also stated in the Free Comic Book Day issue, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, these are the same thing, though.
Yeah, it's the same scene.
Yeah, I mean, that panel did remind me that this had happened. That using his lightning power seems to drain him. So this is a weakness that he has that Dragon does not.
Right. Bingo. But at the same time, it's like, it's cool. I still feel like, rather than saying the fight didn't go anywhere, you can at least say that the fight establishes that he's not going to just be able to just juice, people unlimitedly.
Right.
I don't think that was something Rapture had a problem with. I mean, she was fucking just like lightning powers all over the fucking place. But like Malcolm can't do it.
Well, and I think this fight scene, at least for the Free Comic Book Day issue, kind of established kind of how Malcolm fights for those uninitiated. He's not using guns or anything. It's kind of fisticuffs. He can take a beating. He's got super strength. He's got lightning powers. It was used to showcase a typical kind of Malcolm Dragon battle.
I don't think Malcolm's ever used a gun.
No.
Wouldn't need to, right?
Well, neither did his dad, but he did all the time.
He did it at first, and then kind of Erik got away from it. Like
But I'm okay with that fight. I thought it was okay. I think it's cool. It shows Malcolm why he is needed as a cop, so it's cool. I mean, you got him on the front of the issue being a cop. It's good to see him like used as a cop. Dinsdale Peckerwood. Is that not the best? It's all these months later, and I'm still like that name makes me chuckle.
That's the reporter that's asking Malcolm a bunch of questions, which is kind of used to kind of fill in the reader on the background of Malcolm.
Jim's favorite thing, the info dump.
Yes. 2 whole pages of it.
And it was unchanged, was it not, Craig?
No, it was changed.
Yeah, it feels like it was changed significantly.
One thing was the clap sound effects, for some reason, the colors were changed. I don't know why, but...
Oh.
No, this page, not much was changed. I think just a little minor grammar, but the last panel was kind of cut down a lot to make it more concise.
Oh, yeah, I see. I'm doing the old side-by-side. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. The clapping sort of like gradients out.
Yeah. I think with the last panel, like, so for this, like, he's kind of discussing how, like, Dragon became Kerr and all that, and it's a little heavy-handed in the Savage Dragon Legacy, I think, but in 211 he kind of cuts it down a bit.
Yeah, I'm side-by-siding it. There's definitely a lot more dialogue crammed in balloons than there are in this version.
Yeah, he kind of goes over the same main points, but cuts out a lot of the extra stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it is trimmed down a lot.
Yeah, and the same thing with the next page.
With his dad.
No, well, the next page with the same guy,
right.
in the cop, he kind of cuts it down. I think he cuts out some of the cyberface stuff, I think.
Yeah, the middle panel and the last panel take a huge trimming.
Yeah. And I think it reads better, and it takes out some stuff that's really not that necessary. So the original Legacy Free Comic Book Day issue was, again, a little more heavy-handed, and this one kind of cuts out a lot of the details about cyberface and stuff like that.
I would just like to take a moment once again to praise Dinsdale's amazing butt. Look at panel 1. I mean, look at it. Are you ready for that jelly? I don't think you're ready.
I'm not.
Look at that. It's fantastic. It's so out there.
I like the second to last panel, the way it got reworked. He basically says, that's a question for a guy named Dark Lord. It's kind of messy. There's some time traveling involved, I think. Because compared to like the original where he sort of just explains everything, this feels much more like a Malcolm statement where he just tries to hand wave it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems more like what you do too in real life. Like you wouldn't try to actually.
Whenever I talk about my time traveling adventures, I try to just downplay it a bit.
And again, and again, I think for the Free Comic Book Day issue, it was just kind of a way to do an info dump, and in this, he's a little less concerned with dropping all that info.
Yeah.
Which I think makes for a better read.
Yeah, so overall it was leaner and meaner. I like it. I like it better. I didn't even realize it, though, that it was so heavily trimmed down. This sequence with Dragon Malcolm and Dragon in prison, that was the one that I instantly noticed there were changes just through reading.
Yeah, this was the biggest change. So it went from a scene that was like 2 pages to a scene that was 3. And it went from... Go ahead.
It was only 2 pages originally?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not realize he expanded that.
I didn't realize there was a whole extra page there either. I'm an imbecile.
Huh.
No, you are correct, though.
That did not even register.
Smooth, yeah. In the original one, it just jumped straight from the... Yeah. There's a whole middle page added. Okay, geez. Wow.
In the original one, it was more of a kind of an info dump on Dragon in prison and being like, we got to get you out of here. And it was more focused on trying to get the reader to understand that what Dragon went through, and he's in prison, and he's not getting out anytime soon. And then so this kind of dialogue was totally rewritten to kind of show that Malcolm is updating Dragon on what's happened in his life, between like the foursomes and whatever, and the marriage and stuff like that.
Tierra.
Yeah, so it's completely kind of rewritten. This is the biggest change, I think, in the book.
My favorite bit of rewrite is on the 3rd page of it, in the 4th panel, where Dragon says, "It's a good thing I'm sitting down."
Yes.
Because in the original art he was sitting down, so the dialogue's completely changed. So it's a good thing I'm sitting down.
That was hilarious. And I will say, I know this is so dumb as a nitpicky thing, but I've always hated when word balloons go between panel borders.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that bums me out.
Oh, so you're saying on the Free Comic Book Day issue it did that, and then it...
Yeah, on the Free Comic Book Day, Malcolm is just talking right over between panels, like his word balloon just bam right between, and I've never liked that visually. I think
it's an aspect of poor planning. Like there's more dialogue than you expected, so you kind of have to fudge it.
Well, I think it's because you got to show so many panels too. I mean, you can't just have, they got to have a conversation back and forth. There's only so much room on that legacy. Yeah. I mean, what were you gonna say, Raven?
Well, no, that's exactly it. It's not really poor planning so much as it's like, it's just seeing that much words. Like, I mean, I don't know, visually to see it go over a panel border is not aesthetically pleasing, but like, I don't know, it's kind of cool that it got trimmed up so good. I do think that was like the use of him sitting down for that joke was like fucking masterful. I was laughing so hard, maybe harder than I should have. That shit was so funny. It's a good thing I'm sitting down. Also, the contrast between him in Free Comic Book Day suggesting that he hook up with Angel.
Yeah.
I always thought you and Angel would hook up.
Yeah, and then, now they're talking about
now
Malcolm
just goes out and admits that he had the foursome.
And Dragon's reaction is, wow, Jesus, that's a lot. It's a good thing I'm sitting down. It's hilarious, the contrast.
Just be careful there, son.
It's a good thing Erik drew me sitting down 11 months ago.
I do. It's funny because there would have been no place to put it, and I do think this new conversation is vastly superior. But I do miss the in-book explanation. No, it's very covered ground. Never mind. I was gonna say the thing that like they're not really brother and sister, so it's not that big weirdo thing.
Yeah.
But you're right. I remember Malcolm and Angel actually have talked about that in book before, so it's nothing that will be missed.
I do wish that Erik would make and again, I know this was an issue that was drawn, months ago, but I wish he would get Dragon to start working out, man, and getting buffed. I can't stand looking at skinny Dragon.
Oh.
Hurts.
Look. Gotta have at least one skinny Dragon. If it's not Malcolm, it's gotta be Dragon. It's just the way it is.
Skinny Dragon stinks.
Average Dragon makes you sad?
Skinny Dragon, yeah. Average Dragon could be buff. He just has to work out a bit. He doesn't have to be as big as Malcolm, but I can't take the skinny Dragon.
I love skinny.
When he gets out of his prison jumpsuit and starts wearing real clothes, you'll like him more. He looks a bit frumpy this way.
Yeah.
You've seen him though. Remember that when he broke out of jail and he was all wiry, but he was an ass kicker.
Yeah, he went to the bar and just beat a bunch of goons up.
Yeah. So he's still cut. He's still ripped under his prison outfit. It's okay, Craig. It's okay.
I need me some
Now,
uppers.
This is a good dialogue though. In the new one, I love the getting his dad's reaction, and I also love that Malcolm was just like, I gotta tell you something. He totally narked on Angel. Like, didn't Angel say that he was never supposed to say anything?
Yeah, I thought so.
Fucking narc.
You know what's weird? Let me ask you this: what you guys think about this? Is he doesn't so he's mentioning all these crazy things that happen in the marriage and all this, and he doesn't mention anything about their battle with Angel and Glum. Do you think that's just for like space sake, or do you think, like conserving?
Because originally they talked about alternate Angel in this scene, right?
Yeah. They did originally.
They don't mention anything like, oh yeah, by the way, alternate Angel was
By the way,
killed.
I killed your daughter. Sorry.
I think.
And Glum
Actually,
is.
I guess Rex did that.
And Glum is in prison.
Space probably is a real world reason why it wasn't mentioned here, but if you have to look at like things that are on Malcolm's mind, I guess I'm okay with him not mentioning that.
Yeah.
Because this is probably, I mean, you see the open of the issue, the theme is Malcolm dealing with the fucking fallout of his foursome.
Yeah.
And so, he's, Tierra's dead, Jesus, So, I mean, it makes sense that keeping in theme with the issue, he would run and talk to his dad about this rather than to add that.
Right.
So, I think you're right. I think space is the real world reason why it's not in there. But also, I think that just keeps in tune with, like, what's going on in this issue. It's all about babies and foursomes and fucking fallout from that.
Gotcha.
That's what I think. I mean, shit. What's your takeaway?
I don't know.
Would you have liked it better if it was talked about?
I think he would. Well, I think space is an issue because I think you need more than. I think you need at least a page to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what happened, or at least a couple more panels, because that's some heavy shit. And second, it's like not just Angel being dead, but them capturing Glum, because Glum actually caused a lot of devastation,
Is Glum in the same prison as Dragon, or is Dragon in another prison?
Man, I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be the best if there was like scenes of them like in the break room together, in the dinner room, lunchroom together.
Because Dragon's not in Stronghold, is he?
No, he's not in a superhuman prison, so probably not.
Dragon looks down and there's a little red guy in the shower.
Well, the thing is would you put Glum in that? He's not like strong or anything.
I think he's strong compared to a regular human.
Is he?
I think so. I think that's implied.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Although
about that.
I guess Dragon beat the shit out of him as a normal person.
Oh yeah,
backup,
issue
remember?
200, the backup.
Yeah,
I think he's a pansy.
He might be a pansy.
The thing is, we already saw a prison fight because he did kind of appear in Dragon's cell and they fought.
Fight him hand to hand. Because that was a good decision.
So
I think the reason why we got that extra Dragon Malcolm page is because this next page is also a new edition, and I think he probably did it to like even it out.
Right.
I think, and I don't know if it's intentional, but it's a sweet visual callback to the wedding where she's lifting her dress up.
Yes, I think that is intentional.
I think it's intentional. If it's not, it's still a sweet callback. Also, too, Craig, it's funny because like we kind of were like, busted the wedding issue for not really explaining where that thing came from.
Yeah.
And so here you go. Like, here's your page dedicated
to explaining it.
All to it. So, I mean, it's one of those things I feel like maybe you'll get your Dragon dealing with the Angel fallout and Glum fallout, like maybe down the road, possibly. Right. But yeah, I like this page. This is good stuff. And doesn't this drop the bomb? Isn't this the page where they kind of drop a bomb?
Yeah, this is a bomb here about.
I thought this was kind of clever the way he did it too.
This is clever as shit, bros. This is what bumped this issue from to oh my god, why didn't I think of that?
Well, I just think no matter. So she's saying at conception they'll survive, but don't these? They still need to eat. So like, you know what I mean? Like how? Unless like
because chosen one.
I mean, that's it. Is like it's not you're not dealing with like normal sperm egg like
human biology. We're talking about whatever.
Gotcha.
Like when she says it's viable, like from conception. I mean, I guess what Lorella's saying is like it can fucking make it. Like, it's gonna make it.
Yeah.
Well, it may die at some point, but it can survive on its own. It can like, breathe and eat. However, it might do that. But it's viable that way, but it probably is very, very weak. Comparatively to a fully developed.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just have to say that, like I said, this one page flipped the script.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And it makes nothing but sense. I don't know why.
Angel had an abortion, not so fast.
Exactly.
Here's hoping it's Daredevils.
Really?
Because it's going to get messy yet.
Like I said, we were talking about the fallout of that foursome.
Mm-hmm.
If Malcolm, in fact, has yet another bastard son running around like just the fucking like cells, like amoebas.
3 for 3.
I don't know, dude. I'm just saying I really hope it's Malcolm's, just because that would be some kind of sewer mutant at this point.
Oh, God. So let me ask, what's Lorella's role here? Is she like space nurse? There's like a waiting room and stuff?
Yeah. Is she like a doctor?
I would imagine that because we've seen pictures of like an infirmary full of those babies, haven't we?
Right.
Why is there a guy in the waiting room? Are they like donating sperm for like half breed children?
He's just a sicko. He just likes the idea. He's just there to. You got any magazines?
I think we need to see like some backup Lorella space nurse stories.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah,
I would.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind it.
What is the Lorella's normal day like?
The Lorella backup issue.
I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it turns out to be like a super evil villain.
What artist would you put on that Lorella backup?
I'm
gonna say Francesco.
Yeah,
that works.
Like super over the top cheesecakey, like all these prego moms and Lorella.
Oh God!
In her skin tight singlet.
I like that she has not changed into Earth clothes. She's fucking rocking the onesie.
Those are like self-cleaning space uniforms.
She's not wearing her bathroom unit, so that's an improvement.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the giant cod piece.
That's genius.
Oh, you know what? I want Francesco Lorella backup with codpiece. Bring it back. No, it's good.
The only way she feels comfortable.
This is good though. This page was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, just the that one little nugget of information. I was like, ooh. Plus they're talking about maybe squirting a baby out sooner. So it's funny because I was gonna say this to you guys, but like I didn't even think about it until I read this issue, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. But it's funny to think that like 2016 is the year that like Malcolm's baby is born. So like, isn't that kind of a weird thing to think that like technically the next Malcolm is born this year?
Oh, like the next generation of dragon, like on the third generation.
Yeah, like you think about when you're reading this book back when Malcolm was born.
It's in real time, and you've old enough to witness 3 generations of.
Isn't that weird?
It just means we're old.
It's just weird. It's weird just to think about. Oh, life.
I bet they'll be evil.
I remember reading when Malcolm was first born.
Oh, those were the days. Shut up, Grandpa.
Which of the 3 Malcolm dragon babies, you think will be the star of the book in 20 years?
Sewer baby.
The massive cells that grew up in the sewer.
The mass of cells with a fin.
That's what I want. I want it to be like arachnid.
What's the other name of the other dragon kid? Like Clifford or Eugene or something?
Oh no, you're talking to Barry.
Barry. The weirdest name.
Barry, battle dragon.
But he's not a chosen one because the Dark Dragon didn't have chosen one powers when he conceived him.
Oh, but his mom was tough as shit, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
So if he even got her powers, then he'd be pretty comparable. I mean, he wouldn't have like crazy ass healing powers, but he'd still be strong as shit.
Yeah, because Dark Dragon was negated with the Nega Bomb.
So that is funny. It's like, so there's going to be the Malcolm Maxine baby. There's going to be Sewer baby. And then there's Battle Dragon. Isn't there another baby? Oh, Tierra's baby.
Well, then there's also the hundreds and hundreds of Lorella Dragon ones.
There's Feral Street
Yeah,
baby.
but those aren't chosen ones.
That's true.
They'll just be like regular Krylon people. Or Krillian, or whatever you call them.
Wow. Malcolm is such a fuck up, bros.
Yeah.
Oh, he was young. He can't help it. I still like this Raggedy Ann dude.
Who probably has no powers. He's just a stalker.
Some scared, some guy.
It's my headcanon.
Senor Dragon.
What's your story?
What is she doing in Chicago? What are you doing in the Windy City, Senorita? Getting chased by Andy, Raggedy Andy. I love it, though. I love it.
I like on...
This was a good issue for freaks. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a good issue for just, like, guys.
Definitely a good selection, especially for the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Yeah.
These are the goofy fuckers you can expect on a regular basis.
And this car, like, I think here was the thing I wanted to talk about too, is I think it's kind of cool, just the whole, like, the dynamic has changed now between Frank and, like, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Frank is like Malcolm's Alex.
Well, you see him riding in the car, and he's like,
"Sweet love."
We're gonna get another panel of the shit. I added young Mace and Super Tough.
I was thinking that other panel between Dragon and Alex.
Right, they're the same panel.
With the butt squeeze.
No.
Yes, they are.
The Dragon.
Yeah, they are.
The Dragon Alex panel, though.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about the dogs. The dog...
Yeah. That could still work for those two. Should reuse that panel.
A visual callback. You are like Kanye West.
Yeah, that was new. They added that. Or Erik, I say they. Erik added that. The old one didn't.
What?
He kind of jokes. He says he's so. Again, this is kind of like a reference to nowadays, I guess. Jim, you won't like this, but he says it's like being partnered with Kanye West or something. And then Malcolm says, "Oh, please, I sing better than that."
Nice.
They didn't. That wasn't in the Free Comic Book Day.
Oh yeah, it actually was. I'm looking at them side by side. Yeah, he just did a little like switcheroo. Free Comic Book Day, it's on the left, and the actual 211, it's on the right.
Yeah, but he doesn't say. He doesn't like say, "I sing better than that."
Oh, please, I sing better. Oh, the little joke. My bad.
He also doesn't say that he's married.
Okay, yeah, there is a little
yeah,
bit
he
of...
wouldn't have said it before because he wasn't married when the Free Comic Book Day.
There's a little bit of writing, like, switcheroo here. Okay, yeah, it's really messing with my mind, all these little changes. Like, it's so funny how well it works because, like, Fountainhead mentions his contracts, and I was hardcore like, wait a minute, he didn't mention the contracts before, did he? He totally did. I'm just I don't know, plebe. I didn't even realize water was lasers, for God's sake.
Speaking of everyone's favorite laser firing supervillain,
Laserhead,
Laserface.
Gavin told me that was his favorite. Said that was his favorite part, Jim. Where we mistook water for lasers.
The Gavin Higginbotham, Savage Dragon editor.
He did. He said
he would know.
He said, if I have any feedback, it's that your hilarious gaff. Be careful, boys. You don't get thirsty and slurp down a face full of lasers, making mistakes like that.
It's an easy mistake.
So, you know.
So I think it's fair to assume, as we read on this issue, that Fountainhead's working for the Vicious Circle.
Absolutely. That was a nice little new change.
And he's got these two packages that Malcolm, I guess there's an all points bulletin about some kidnapped babies, so Malcolm kind of tracks this dude down and takes the babies. I always thought that it was weird, that scene where he throws them up on the roof. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned that the last time. It just didn't sit right with me, like the way they just kind of
Things go plop plop.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's in those things, like if it's just human babies or whatever.
Super trajectory.
Yeah.
He's using his super aim, Craig.
Yeah.
He got the gravity exactly right, so when they landed, it was basically nothing.
Tell you what, though, I'm always a fan of those panels where, like, Malcolm is grasping at the sides of buildings and just, like, tearing them apart as he, like, drags down the building. I love that.
Oh, it's awesome. It's just a great visual.
It's sort of an acrobatic thing that you want to see a dragon doing.
I'm noticing something.
What's that?
It looks like the second baby, the baby on the left.
Don't steal it. That's what I was going to talk about.
Ooh, I didn't even notice till just now.
All right, so let's skip ahead. So the fight scene between Fountainhead and Dragon pretty much is unchanged. Dragon beats Fountainhead and unwraps the babies on their little bundles. So you're noticing now what I noticed and what I thought is a huge thing.
Noticed. That is huge.
So for the listeners out there, if you are following along and kind of looking at both issues, take a look at the panel. I don't know what page it is, but it's the
19 in the Free Comic Book Day and 23 in 211.
And I don't think, unless you put them side to side, I don't think you would notice this. Or even, you might not even notice it side to side in the printed version. But if you take an electronic version and you kind of overlay them and flip back and forth between the Free Comic Book Day issue and the 211, you'll notice. What are you noticing, Raven? You can go.
Oh my God, dude. That blows my mind. That is another flip the script moment, dude. I am so happy that you didn't say anything when we were not recording, because that is an even crazier level of extra.
So you'll notice the two heads of the babies, and so in the Savage Dragon Legacy, the two babies are like kind of that dark dragon green, and then for 211, the baby on the left turns into like the color was recolored to be the Malcolm kind of olive green. The
feral baby.
No, there's no way that's the feral baby. I have a explanation.
No.
I could clear this up quite easily.
I don't believe you.
No way that Lorella isn't tinkering with the DNA of some of these babies to make sure that they are viable as a species in the future. Because you can't have an entire species made up of the offspring of two people.
Don't ruin it.
Some genetic variants in there somewhere.
You know why I think it is? Here's why I think that's feral baby. Craig, you're a genius. I didn't notice that until just now when we did the side-by-side. The reason why, all I was going to say is that the new dynamic, what's great is the new dynamic after the Tierra death, where Frank says, "Is there something you'd like to tell me, Malcolm?" That was the only thing I picked up on. I was like, that's really clever how that's the exact same dialogue, but it just plays really differently in light of recent events.
Mm-hmm.
But if you throw in the fact that, like, the left hand, the baby on the left is now, like, potentially feral street baby, then that line gets even better.
So we know, like, Malcolm's kind of color like that is because
his mom was black.
Right. So what if the baby on the left is his baby with Tierra and the baby on the right is his baby with Angel? That was aborted and was recovered.
I didn't even think about that.
Because
is that what you thought?
Because I thought it was weird, and then as we get to the last or the second to last page of this comic, I'll tell you the panel which made me go, even more.
I only picked up on Feral Street Baby. I didn't even think that was Angels. What? You're blowing my mind even further. I shit you not, dude. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, I kind of see what you're saying.
You're saying that's Malcolm's, like, that's Sewer Baby and Feral Baby?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit.
And then when Dragon says two babies, two dragon babies, they're after my two kids.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
On the last page, when he comes to the realization, the second to last page or whatever it is.
Well, he's dropping them off with Lorella. She's going to figure that out soon enough, if that's the case. So this shouldn't be a mystery for too long.
Dude.
Either way, it's very odd that Erik would decide to recolor the one baby that olive Malcolm green.
Dudes, this issue just went to 12.
I would laugh if it has no, and he just colored it like
if it was just a foobar.
Yeah, I will hate you, Jim, if your prediction is true.
Oh, I'd be so sad.
I'm all excited, and then watch. Erik's gonna color that issue we talked about that shows all the babies on the cover. What is it?
And they'll all be different colors.
And they'll all be different shades of green. And I'll be like, God damn you, Jim. I thought I was breaking something.
I feel like you're breaking something. I cannot imagine.
Breaking my brain.
I cannot imagine that would not be. That is so awesome as a twist. Because what's so funny is that I was already just excited at the mere thought of like Sewer Baby. Because Sewer Baby was for me the big breakthrough in this issue. I was like, he turned like this reprint issue actually into something pretty crazy. And then to think that like Feral Baby and Sewer Baby are actually like in this damn issue. Oh, dude, you're flipping me out. This is awesome.
So the other thing, which is kind of weird about this page, is the second to last panel. So the first bubble, Malcolm says, excuse me, well, my dad and Lorella are trying to repopulate their alien race. And the Savage Dragon Legacy says, I imagine these are two of theirs. In issue 211, he says, I would hope these are two of theirs. So it's kind of a slight little change in that kind of emphasis, like.
Oh, dude, that's subtle. I didn't even notice that. I'm telling you, the extra dynamic between, like I said, the dynamic between like Frank knowing. I know this is kind of a funny thing to bring up since it's the Q&A, and I kind of don't like to take things that aren't on panel as the gospel. But when Erik did his Q&A with Russ Burlingame, Burlingame asked him, the scene in the last issue where Frank Jr.'s in the morgue looking at Tierra's body.
Yeah.
And Russ was like, do you think, he's like, does Frank have an idea? Or, is Frank clueless? And, Erik was like, I'm pretty sure he knows. Like, he's got to have some common sense,
Well, here's a big question mark. How did the Vicious Circle find out about these babies?
That's
the tabloid rag, right?
Oh yeah, there you go. It was even when Malcolm was in Hawaii, so they had a whole, you could say, real-time month to have a lead on Malcolm even being aware that his feral baby was out there.
How do they know about Angel's baby?
Well, maybe they have somebody stalking them and keeping an eye.
Maybe there's someone on the inside who knows those details, who might be leaking them.
Well, here's this, though. They could just have some guys, like, tailing Dragon and just kind of keeping an eye on Dragon and watching who's coming in and out and keeping an eye on these people.
Dart
Frank's a traitor. Take the bait.
Ooh. Frank's a traitor.
Frank's pissed and he's taking it out on Malcolm.
You think?
I don't know, maybe.
Well,
I don't think so in a way. I mean, it could be, but I think Erik wants to establish kind of a cast of Dragon friends and confidants, and it'd be weird to take Frank out of that picture, but hey, you never know. Erik has pulled some fast ones.
That would be a shocker if Frank was feeding, because my thing was, I was just like, okay, clearly Dart, and we just learned that with the 211. It wasn't really implied in the Free Comic Book Day issue, but clearly Dart has baby fever. And like I said, the nice tie-in, the funny thing, I mean, just pure fate. 2 hours before this podcast, the cover for 215 with Dart and Malcolm surrounded by babies, went online. So it's like clearly Dart has like baby fever. So like you would think, I just generically thought that maybe like Dart was just like, for whatever reason, hardcore like on a tear to get a hold of some dragon babies.
Mm-hmm.
But like if Frank was feeding her like info or whatever, that would be kind of a twist. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be good. It could happen. So man, holy shit, dude, you blew my noodle. I couldn't even believe it. Who is this? Is this chick that like? Well, I guess one last thing. Is this chick who is? And apparently we come in on Dart having already killed someone. Is this chick who gets killed, is she anyone?
I don't think so.
Throwaway, just a throw.
I don't know if she's appeared before. I can't remember, but she doesn't seem like somebody I've seen before.
Well, that's what she fucking gets for not having eyebrows, damn it.
She's got a weird design. It's like, I don't know. Like, what could she do if she was like a Vicious Circle member?
Whip you with that ponytail.
Yeah. Maybe that's her gimmick. She had razor hair.
I like how there's like a dead dude on the ground when she walks in the door.
Isn't it funny that he's just she's and like blood on the sword, so clearly Dart has just killed someone already.
What is it with Vicious Circle like leaders that just freaking kill people constantly?
Well, you got to use that fear when you're made of squishy flesh.
Yeah.
Spaghetti had his armor and Dart's got her sword.
Did you say spaghetti?
I might have done.
I love it.
What was his last name? Serengeti or Seghetti?
Senghetti?
Antonio Seghetti?
I think it's Antonio Senghetti,
yeah,
or maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel I'm saying it wrong. Like right now, Gavin is spinning in his grave.
Antonio Seghetti. Has to be.
Antonio Seghetti.
So that's that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But...
No, all I was saying is you're right. Like, crazy. Better than I was hoping for.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how much mileage we got out of a reprint, basically.
Yeah, because...
Well, let's not keep you awake or anything here.
Not only based on when it comes out in relation to other books, but also the new pages sort of recontextualize a number of things.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the script flipped in many ways. So, and Jim, you get your cover you preferred as a backup.
Yes. Yes, I do.
So,
I'm happy about that.
That is a cool cover too. That first pinup that he has in this issue was the original Free Comic Book Day kind of solicitation, and then he scrapped it and went for the kind of solo Malcolm.
The wink.
Yeah.
What do you know about me, Malcolm? How dare you judge me?
I do say that without the Savage Dragon Legacy logo, I actually like that pinup a lot better.
Yeah.
It actually looks like... I mean, I'm talking about the first one.
Right, yep.
Yeah, originally it had the old Savage Dragon logo.
Yeah.
Where I think that's why he changed it, because he tried to put in the new Savage Dragon logo and it didn't work.
Probably covered up too much of the original Dragon's head or something.
Something like that. So he had to put this other one together that would look right.
It's good, though. I dig it. I dig this. It's nice. So I guess there's no funnies this issue, which is cool. It's all good.
Well, I think all the backups were a victim of the fact there was 5 or 6 new pages.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I'm just saying, like, to get an oversized issue, like especially where it's like reprinted material, I'm cool. I'm super satisfied with this issue. I had low expectations. I mean, since it was so much reprint. And it came in like a hurricane.
Well, you know what? Now I know for a fact that he put in that extra page in the prison because he needed to balance it out for the double page splash.
Yeah.
Because without it, it would have been wrong.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That'll do. That'll do it. That's good, dude. I don't know. I'm pleased. I'm super pleased.
Yeah, it's a good issue, and I like the additions. It definitely makes it worth the double dip.
Yep.
Makes it
especially
essential, really.
Yeah. So especially, like I said, it would have taken, actually, if it was just a reprint, it would have been pretty throwaway. But like, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. It did it. It did it for me.
Big time. Yeah, it was a great issue.
So shall we glimpse into the future, lads?
Let's take a look.
Let's do it. What's in the pipeline?
What is next?
Savage Dragon 212. Malcolm Dragon on the Force, facing his greatest challenge yet.
Erik Larsen. Wait.
I left it in there.
Erik Larsen brings it.
Even though it's not in the copy, I left it in there because it's too good.
Yeah. Just throw that in every time.
Just throw it in. And I'll tell you, if it's short like that, I'm gonna throw it in.
What is the cover for 212?
So if you look, it is him getting bashed up by this demon-looking guy. And he looks like a demonoid, but he's kind of got some fancy pants.
Yeah.
Fancy pants.
So he doesn't... Yeah, demonoids were kind of nakedy. So this guy, I don't think he's a demonoid.
Maybe he's a demonoid on Rumspringa.
Man, that cover came out so long ago. I'm scrolling forever down dragonfan.net looking for it.
I put the URL in your agenda.
Oh, I probably should have clicked that. Oh, look. There
You
it
can find
is.
it on imagecomics.com.
Yeah, the URL's right there. Yeah, it's him getting bashed into that building.
Some kind of
getting
bar?
bashed
Is that a
good.
bar? Something bar?
Yeah,
The bar. No, it's a tat bar?
it's the rat bar.
Rat bar.
No, I can't see the R.
Well,
I used to live next to the Rat Bar in Boston. The Rathskeller, the Rat.
Are you serious? Weird. What a weird name for a place.
The Rathskeller.
Rat.
You know what?
They call it the Rat.
I don't think I've seen this cover. I think it missed me.
Yeah.
Really?
Or I saw
let's
it.
get your real-time impression.
I like it. Dynamic. I like the people on the street. I like the punch to the face. And the crash into the wall. And the rat bar sign.
I feel like Joe Dirt. I feel like I can see down your shirt.
What? Oh, I got you. Yeah.
I can see down your shirt.
What do you think his greatest challenge yet is?
This red guy in pants.
I
No
doubt
way.
it.
Clearly the most dangerous thing he'll ever face. It'll probably be Dart.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be like
Constipation.
Boom Pow tacos.
Dealing with mood swings in pregnancy.
Yeah, he's had a pretty easy go of it. 6 months of easy breezy.
And he has the baby early too.
Man,
I like this
With
red
no-
guy. I'm
with
digging
no
this guy.
long-term ramifications.
you know what's funny is like a little behind the scene is that like he just said, I mean, he was reffing this cover out and like he was like, I didn't even know who I was gonna draw, and then I just drew him, and there he is. And it's like this guy looks pretty kick-ass to just be like, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, he does look neat.
Right, Spawn on the brain.
Got hell on the mind. No, this is good. It's a good cover. I dig it. Oh, speaking
of Spawn, nice segue.
Fantastic. Nice. Thanks for the assist, Jim.
Yeah, it's almost like I planned it.
Spawn 260. The legendary Todd McFarlane and Erik Larsen join forces on a historic and show-stopping collaboration of titanic proportions in an epic display of creative talent on Spawn. The Satan Saga Wars, Part 2.
I don't know if I like the fact it doesn't actually say anything about the contents. It's all about like
There is
playing up
none.
the creators.
Well, it just sort of was I think to get you the old. I don't think that he faces his greatest challenge yet really tells you much anything either.
He's always facing his greatest challenges yet.
Well, that's like Walking Dead does that too. Like Walking Dead, sometimes the whole copy will be like, it gets worse.
Yeah, well, he used to, and then he just stopped. He's like, the hell of this.
What, with copy at all?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a sentence.
It'll be like, Rick feels fear.
That's what I was going to say.
Again.
Carl's in danger. That'll
Yes.
be the-
Russell
Trouble
Jones.
ahead.
yeah. Or terror takes hold. Or just something like you don't know what the fuck that
Someone
issue's about.
dies.
Oh, can I just take? You know what? I got a nice segue. I just want to take a pot shot real quick, saying someone dies. So like, they're trying to make announcements to hype everyone up for
Civil War II.
Civil War II.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And one of the big things that they announced out of that was they were like, we did our writer's table and we were just like, wow, we thought of a majorly impactful hero death. And so they announced someone's going to die. And I was just like, who in the year 2016 gives two shits about that? Like, who, honestly, is there someone that's still out there that's like, oh my God, no.
Captain America is
No!
going to be 90 years old and still fight.
Well, he's currently an old man. Maybe he'll die of natural causes.
Crohn's. What killed Captain America? I guess time, really. When you think about it. Just fucking time, I guess.
Dude, that would
Yeah.
be groundbreaking. Just have a superhero die of old age.
Yeah, I mean, Cap, like I said, Cap's like 90, 95 years old physically right now, so.
He just breaks his
physically,
hip
but he's still in like every Marvel comic book cover I see. What the fuck is a 95-year-old doing? Like,
Is he for real?
Yeah. Oh, he's on covers.
Because Sam Wilson is Captain America.
yeah,
right
but
now.
he's like old Captain America is dressed up in like a shield uniform in every. I don't read it, but I just see every cover with him on it.
He's on a lot of covers.
like
everyone likes badass old men.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know if he's like maybe he's doing the Nick Fury job.
But is
right
he
now.
still strong or something?
Oh no, they had.
So how the hell is he like?
They sucked the super soldier serum out of him completely.
So dumb.
So his body
that is the
reverted
worst.
to his natural age.
That just makes me
So
wanna
he's
go.
a 93-year-old guy that still battles with no powers whatsoever.
I don't think he battles. I don't think he gets into the fight anymore.
Dude, I'm telling you, if he doesn't
he-
battle, why is he
He's
like?
the wizened old man who gives advice to the younger generation.
He's dressed up in like shield like spandex on every cover.
oh,
He's posing with the other heroes like he's gonna fight.
oh,
So it's one of those things where it's like if he's not about to fight, he sure is posing up a storm.
I don't know. I don't keep track with it. I just know he's an old man and he has no powers.
It's
Yeah.
so garbagey. I just want to. I'm sorry. I know that might seem like it has nothing to do with anything, but like I just want to. Somebody like it's not exactly your FINteresting topic, so I didn't cheat you. But somebody was like, "What do you think about other comics versus Savage Dragon?" And I mean, and we can still maybe do that one. But when I saw that, I was like, "That is why I like Savage Dragon," because when like it never sells death.
Mm-hmm.
So like the copy's never going to be someone dies.
Because of course someone's gonna die.
Someone's gonna die. They die all the damn time. And B, if someone died in Savage Dragon, it would fucking matter. When I hear that Civil War II is coming and someone dies, I could not give two shits less.
It'll probably be Captain Marvel.
I don't even know. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I saw that interesting conversation. It's like I don't even really want to talk about it because I just end up talking like a whole bunch of shit, and it's like I really don't even care about Marvel comics at this point.
Yeah.
Raven, the fuck did you
Ugh.
just text me?
Oh well.
Where the fuck did this come from? Oh, this is Marvel vs. Capcom. Never mind. This isn't as cool as I thought it was.
What are you freaking out about?
Raven just sent me a link to an image of Marvel and Capcom characters together, and I thought it was like some crossover event thing. And then I remembered, wait a minute, this is just Marvel vs. Capcom.
That's that.
So that's our latest step. That's an episode of Savage FINcast in the can.
We'll see you in about a month's time for the next episode.
Pulse pounding. Have a good one.
See ya.